Every time you eat a meal, you eat some fat. If you want to lose weight or maintain your healthy weight, you need to know which fats are healthy and which fats are going to put weight on you. So which ones are going to pack on the pounds. Because your body is built with fat, getting this right is really going to be the thing that changes everything for you. Eating the right fat in my diet has not only helped me to feel satiated after my meals and have a lot more energy, it helped me to drop 80 pounds. You need to know 3 key things about fat if you want to get in shape too, right? If you want to do what I did. I'm putting my 25 years of experience in helping people to change their lives into this channel so that you can get the results that you want. And the great part about what I'm doing, what I'm about to share with you, is that it is simple. Once you know what information has been hidden from you, you'll be able to choose correctly and radically improve your health. That's important because a healthy body regulates its weight. These 3 facts about fat separate those of us who maintain our weight, our goal weight, forever, from those of us who not only gain weight, but also have pain and unexplained medical problems. I know because that was me 7 years ago. I had no idea that there were different types of fat. And I suffered for not understanding that knowledge, from knowing that that information mattered to my body. My joints were in so much pain that I was walking around with a limp at 46 years old, waiting for hip surgery. I was a mess until I found the high-fat keto diet. I put it in quotes because it's not technically a high-fat diet, but I explain that in other videos. You can watch those. Today, I just want to talk about the fact that I watched hundreds of hours of keto videos to understand why my body was in pain. And now I'm going to tell you what fat had to do with the problem that I was living. Reminds me of the song, "What's fat got to do with it?" I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Okay. To truly understand the confusion we have about fat, we need to start with, I can't believe it's not butter. You remember that stuff? I've never actually tasted it, but this margarine apparently tastes just like butter. Now, it was created as a cheap alternative to butter for the food industry. Eventually, it got around to being sold directly to us. But I want us to understand that the flavor of our food was not the reason this product was created. Our health was not the reason that this product was created. This product was created to save costs for the food industry. So, what's the difference between butter and margarine? Both are supposed to be 80% fat, so that's a similarity. But butter is made from cream, so milk products, whereas margarine is made from vegetable oil. Now, here in Canada, I can go to the store and purchase 5 liters, which is 1.3 gallons, of vegetable oil for $12. But the same amount of butter would cost me $58.70. That's a huge cost difference. So a huge savings for the food industry. But fast forward to today, now that we are also getting those savings, if you are going to deep fry some chicken at home, are you using butter or vegetable oil? Let me know in the comments. What would you be using? I can tell you that one of my first purchases when I moved out of my parents' home was a deep fryer because I like fried chicken. What do you think I was frying with, Wellness Warrior? When it comes to cost, margarine wins hands down. But you're here because you want your health back so that you can get your body back to its correct weight, right? Healthy body regulates its weight. Seed oils help lower cholesterol. Our doctors constantly talk about how heart healthy they are. Here's Dr. Knobbe explaining how seed oils impact our health.
So we're told that these vegetable oils are heart healthy. In fact, the most prestigious nutrition institutions in the world, Harvard School of Public Health, Mayo Clinic's Nutrition Department, Tufts University Nutrition Department, all tell us these are heart healthy. I'm here today to defend the hypothesis that these are the most dangerous products in our food supply, bar none. 12 years of scientific investigation and following the science leads me to this conclusion. You'll have to make up your own mind. In the 19th century, regarding heart disease, there was 8 papers in the entire century. 1912, James Herrick published the first known heart attack in the US. 1930s, coronary heart disease became the leading cause of death. It was virtually unknown 20 years earlier in 1910. 2010, 1 out of 3 people, approximately 32%, are dying of coronary heart disease in the US. And as you know, coronary heart disease is the leading cause of death worldwide. So the increase looks something like that red line right there. All right, how about cancer? So cancer deaths look something like this. This is a 62-fold increase in cancer deaths in 200 years. How about type 2 diabetes? 2016, we're at 13% prevalence of diabetes in the US. This is a 4,643-fold increase in diabetes in 126 years. If diabetes had doubled during this time frame, that would be statistically significant. It went up 4,643-fold. Okay, how about macular degeneration, the leading cause of irreversible vision loss and blindness in people over the age of 50 worldwide? Between 1851 and 1930, there was less than 50 cases of macular degeneration in all the world's literature. 2020, 196 million people. As of 2004, 14 million of those people were either blind and or severely visually impaired in both eyes. So the increase looks something again like this red line right here. How about Alzheimer's and dementia? So the first known case published by Dr. Alzheimer himself, 1908. Where are we today? 2023, 55 million cases. How about obesity? In the United States, 1.2% of men age 18 to 80. By 1960, obesity had risen 11-fold to 13%. So this trend continues, right? So obesity since the 19th century has risen 35-fold in 118 years. Why is this happening? Well, very simply, sugar increased 17-fold just between 1822 and 1999. Sugar is a nutrient-deficient food. 1866, the first seed oil was introduced in the United States, cottonseed oil. The U.S. had never seen a seed oil before that. 1880, we got refined white wheat flour, nutrient-deficient food. 1911, Procter & Gamble introduced good old Crisco, trans fats, right? That's processed food. That's it. That's really all it is today, too. It's those 4 things. 2009, 63% of the American diet made up of those 4 foods, and chronic diseases look something like this.
From 1911 until today, we've consistently been struggling with health issues that our ancestors didn't even think about. Doctors will tell you that diabetes, heart disease, vision problems, and Alzheimer's run in your family. But Dr. Knobbe just put vegetable oil at the center of all of those problems. There aren't any vegetables in vegetable oil. They are made from seeds of plants. Seed oils is what they really are. Seed oils are nutrient deficient, highly inflammatory, and cause health problems. It's one thing to say that seed oils are at the center because we can see throughout history that the more we have seed oils, the more our health is changing. Here's Dr. Bikman explaining how the seed oils are actually causing health problems and weight gain.
Linoleic acid, which is really the fat that we're pointing a finger at in this story, it is everywhere in animal fats, so there's no avoiding it. Of course, we're eating, orders of magnitude, I think 56,000% more now than we were 100 years ago, because where refined oils have just worked their way into everything. When we're getting it from refined foods and just straight kind of cooking oil, versions of soybean oil and canola oil, et cetera, we are not only getting way too much, of course, but even if we were getting more modest amounts, we're not getting it the way nature intended. And I don't mean to say that and sound like I'm a hippie. I don't look like a hippie, and I'm not. But there's some wisdom there. There's something to be learned there, where when we eat linoleic acid from animal sources, it always comes with antioxidant vitamins, like, say, vitamin E. I think there's something kind of genius about this, where if you can get linoleic acid and keep it as linoleic acid, the body knows what to do with that. In other words, it didn't turn into a lipid peroxide. And maybe that's because it had antioxidants to keep it clean. It helped maintain the integrity of that fatty acid. In contrast, when we're eating it from a refined source, not only are we eating too much, but let's put volume or consumption amount to the side, but we've robbed away the natural, perhaps, antioxidant mechanisms that would have allowed the cells of the body to just use the fat in its pure form. We've changed it now into a lipid peroxide. And that, to me, is the real heart of the matter. And where I cannot deny that linoleic acid has a problem beyond its caloric value. It truly is the most readily oxidized, turning into a lipid peroxide of the lesser saturated or more saturated fats. This becomes a lipid peroxide very, very readily. And lipid peroxides are remarkably damaging or pathogenic molecules. And then what I can speak to is the relevance of a lipid peroxide and its other, metabolites, in how that changes the way a fat cell behaves, where we know that these lipid peroxide metabolites from linoleic acid force a fat cell to grow through hypertrophy. It limits the potential for hyperplasia. If there's ample linoleic acid in its peroxide metabolites, it's forcing that growth to happen through hypertrophy, and that is a sick way to get fat. We are literally doing studies in my lab now looking at some of these linoleic acid metabolites and how they change mitochondrial function in muscle cells and fat cells, and it is not good. Inflammation is something I'm familiar with in the context of insulin resistance. That has been a focus for me since my postdoctoral work 15 years ago. If linoleic acid is in fact promoting inflammation, and it very well could, I would say it's likely because of its conversion into lipid peroxides. And we know that macrophages will very hungrily engulf lipid peroxides, immediately sensing this peroxide as a harmful pathogenic molecule, and then doing its job, it will engulf them, and then it will become a foam cell. As it has engulfed too much, this lipid peroxide will start to activate. The macrophage is essentially saying, hey, there's too much of this, I need help. And that is inflammation. It's when one immune cell starts to call out for help from other immune cells, and now we have systemic inflammation. So
lipid peroxides cause our fat cells to swell up, hypertrophy, rather than multiply, hyperplasia. The fact that that's a sick way to gain weight means you aren't healthy. Lipid peroxides alter mitochondria. That's not healthy. You're not healthy when that's happening in your body. I want to clarify the macrophage part of the story, because macrophages come in and they're cleaning up the lipid peroxides, and then too many of them, foam cells, like that part confused me. Okay, so imagine for a second that I spill a glass of water on my counter, and then I take a towel and I clean it up. Everything's okay. If a pipe is open on my counter, I take a towel, clean it up, take another towel and clean it up, but probably by the end of the evening, I'll have run out of towels. But the pipe is still running. I didn't realize the impossible task I was giving my body by eating French fries with every meal and all the processed garbage I was eating. The constant, steady stream of seed oils that was coming into my body, the fried chicken and fried seed oils in everything I was cooking, pretty much guaranteed that my body was going to be inflamed. Thank you, Dr. Bikman, for explaining why I was suffering so much. Are you eating foods that are cooked in vegetable oil, in canola oil? Are these oils listed on the ingredients of the foods that you eat, so that those processed foods? I want you to succeed, Wellness Warrior. Companies want your money. They're not caring about the impact of these oils on your health. But avocado, olive, and coconut oil are natural oils. They have to be healthy, right? I want you to click here, and we're going to talk about the impact of those oils on your health. Click on the link. I'll meet you over there.